Iguana fact and fiction. There are many myths and fallacies floating around about iguanas. Many older publications about iguana care contain old and outdated information, and most pet store employees are ill-educated in the correct care of these fascinating animals. Because of these widespread fictions about iguanas, they have long been labeled a good beginner reptile. In fact, the exact opposite is true. Iguanas are large, aggressive, difficult to care for reptiles that have very specific needs that owners need to provide for. Below are some of the most common iguana myths and true facts about the iguanas. Fiction. Iguanas will only grow as large as the cage you keep them in. Fact. Iguanas that are properly cared for will reach 5 or 6 feet in length no matter what size cage they are kept in. Fiction. Iguanas should be fed lettuce. Fact. Lettuce has virtually no nutritional value. Iguanas need a varied diet high in dark leafy greens with vegetables and fruits added for variety. Fiction. All I need is a heat light for my iguana. Fact. Iguanas need 2 types of light, a heat light and a UVB light. Without sufficient UVB, iguanas cannot process the calcium in their diet and develop metabolic bone disease, and they will die. Fiction. An aquarium light or a full spectrum light will provide enough UVB for my iguana. Fact. Most bulbs marketed for fish, plant grow lights, or as a full spectrum bulb do not produce enough UVB. Look for one that specifically states it produces at least 5% UVB, like ZooMed's Iguana Light 5.0 or Reptisun 5.0. Fiction. My UVB bulb will last until it burns out. Fact. Even though they continue to produce visible light, the UVB output of a bulb drops drastically over time. UVB tubes should be replaced every 6 months. Fiction. Dog or cat food is good for my iguana and will make it grow faster. Fact. Iguanas are obligate herbivores. Their bodies cannot process animal protein, like cat or dog food, meat products, insects, eggs, things like that. Iguanas fed animal protein do grow very fast, but die at an early age from kidney and liver failure. Fiction. An aquarium or terrarium is a good home for an iguana. Fact. Iguanas are arboreal, tree-dwelling animals and need a large cage with lots of height for climbing. A properly cared for iguana will outgrow any commercial aquarium within the first year or 2. An adult iguana needs a cage at least 6 feet tall, 5 feet long, and 3 feet deep. Fiction. Iguanas need a friend. I can keep 2 or more iguanas in the same cage. Fact. Iguanas are solitary animals that prefer not to share their territory. Housing 2 iguanas in the same cage will cause dominance issues and at worst the death of one or both iguanas. Iguanas can and do die from stress. Fiction. I can keep other reptiles, turtles and other lizards and things in the same cage as my iguana. Fact. You should never house different species together. Not only do they all have differing habitat requirements, but they may and can pass disease and parasites between each other and can cause stress to each other. Fiction. I don't need to take my iguana to the vet. After all, it's just a reptile. Fact. Just like with any other pet, your iguana should see a veterinarian at least once a year. Reptiles hide signs of illness very well, and having your vet familiar with your healthy iguana will make it easier to pinpoint and diagnose problems if they do occur. Fiction. My iguana will give me salmonella. Fact. Iguanas, like all reptiles, can carry salmonella bacteria. Salmonella is most often transmitted through feces. Keeping your iguana and its enclosure clean and using common sense, such as washing your hands after handling your iguana, is usually sufficient to avoid salmonella. Statistically, you are more likely to get salmonella from undercooked chicken than from a reptile. Fiction. Iguanas don't have teeth. Fact. Iguanas do have teeth, very similar to shark teeth. A full-grown iguana can literally bite your finger off. Fiction. Iguanas make good pets for children. Fact. Iguanas do not make good pets for children. They grow very large and have rather demanding care requirements. It also takes several months to a year of consistent work to tame and socialize an iguana. Fiction. Iguanas are cheap pets. Fact. Iguanas are very expensive to set up and maintain properly. Proper caging, food, heating, lighting, and humidity, along with vet bills, means that $15 iguana will cost at least several $100s in the first year. Fiction. Your iguana will not live more than 2 or 3 years. Fact. Okay, that was a trick question. Iguanas can live up to 20 years, but only with proper care. Fiction. Iguanas can't swim. Fact. Oh, yes they can. Although a baby iguana won't like the water, all iguanas know how to swim and will use the water as a method of flight. Fiction. Iguanas can't be potty trained. Fact. Sure they can. It's called tubbing, and it's an efficient way of letting your iguana go to the bathroom, swim, and drink all combined. Of course, if the iguana goes potty first, you should really change the water. Fiction. If I can't take care of my iguana anymore, I can just set him free. Fact. No, no, no. If you can't take care of your pet anymore, then you need to take him to a shelter or contact some animal agency to find him a home that can properly take care of your iguana. Do not set him free. The iguana will die, and whether you like it or not, it's illegal in most areas. Fiction. Everything the pet store tells me is the right way to take care of an iguana. Fact. You've got to be kidding. Pet stores, for the most part, don't know how to properly take care of an iguana. You need to research before you get the iguana, not after. Fiction. My iguana will never trust me. Fact. Sure he or she will, if you take care of him or her and spend time with your new pet. Fiction. Iguanas are easy to tame. Fact. Iguanas are very difficult to tame. Unlike cats and dogs who have been domesticated for hundreds of years, iguanas are not bred widely in captivity, and most are wild imports from South America. They are wild animals, and it takes a lot of time and patience to get them to tame down and trust humans. It's not uncommon for it to take 6 months to a year, or even more, to tame an iguana. Fiction. Hot rocks are a very good heat source for iguanas. Fact. No. Hot rocks are very dangerous for iguanas. Iguanas are arboreal creatures designed to get their heat from above. They have very few pain sensors in their belly region and can receive severe burns and even literally cook themselves to death on hot rocks. Hot rocks are also known for shorting out and overheating, which can cause injury and even death to your iguana. Fiction. My iguana can get UVB through the window. Fact. False. The spectrum of UVB that iguanas need does not pass through glass or plastic, and even most window screens cut out a lot of the beneficial UVB. Another danger of putting your iguana's cage near a window is that the light coming in through the window can cause the glass cage to quickly overheat, killing your iguana. Fiction. If I don't have a male iguana, my female won't lay eggs. Fact. Female iguanas are rather like chickens in that they can lay infertile eggs whether or not the male is present. Iguanas in captivity often have difficulty laying eggs, so if you suspect your iguana may be gravid, that is, full of eggs, please have her checked out by a vet. These are just some of the most common misconceptions about iguanas. If you are an iguana owner or plan to get one in the future, be sure to spend some time researching them to make sure you can provide them with a proper habitat and diet.